Welcome to this in-depth audiobook summary of Atomic Habits by James Clear, a guide that has transformed millions of lives by unlocking the secrets behind sustainable, long-term behavior change. Whether you're looking to build better habits, break bad ones, or simply understand the science behind human behavior, you're in the right place. We're going to explore this powerful book in a way that gives you not just a surface-level overview, but a deep understanding of the principles and psychology that make habits stick. James Clear's message is simple but profound. Small changes, when compounded over time, lead to remarkable results. These are not quick hacks or willpower tricks. Instead, Clear shows us how to create an environment and a mindset where good habits thrive and bad habits wither away naturally. In this summary, we'll dive into why tiny improvements are more powerful than big goals, how to reprogram your identity to align with the person you want to become, the 4 fundamental laws of behavior change that can help you build a powerful habit system, real-life examples, scientific studies, and practical tools that bring the theory to life. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. If you've ever struggled with self-discipline, motivation, or sticking with a new routine, this summary is going to give you clarity, motivation, and most importantly, a strategy. Let's begin with the core idea that drives the entire book. Chapter 1, The Power of Tiny Habits. James Clear begins Atomic Habits with a powerful idea that transforms how we look at progress, the compounding power of tiny improvements. Imagine improving by just 1% each day. That sounds insignificant in the moment, almost invisible. But if you stick to that 1% improvement daily, by the end of a year, you'll be 37 times better than when you started. This is the essence of compound growth, applied to self-improvement. On the flip side, if you get 1% worse each day, the effects compound in the opposite direction. Bad habits, even seemingly small ones, quietly deteriorate your identity and your results over time. This is one of the most powerful lessons in the book. Success is not the result of massive actions, but of consistent small improvements. James illustrates this principle with several stories, one of the most memorable being the story of the British cycling team. For nearly a century, they were considered one of the worst professional teams in the world. But in 2003, a performance coach named Dave Brailsford took over and introduced a strategy called the aggregation of marginal gains. His philosophy was to break down everything that goes into riding a bike and improve it by just 1%. From the nutrition, the aerodynamics, and the training schedule, to even seemingly unrelated things like the pillows the athletes use for sleeping. Within 5 years, the British cycling team dominated the Olympics and the Tour de France. That's the impact of small habits, stacked on top of each other every day. Now let's talk about why these changes feel invisible at first, and why most people give up. Clear introduces the concept of the plateau of latent potential. Think of it like an ice cube in a room that's slowly being heated. At first, the temperature goes from 25 to 26 to 27 degrees, and nothing seems to happen. But when the temperature hits 32 degrees, the ice begins to melt. Was it the last degree that caused it? No. It was all the degrees before that which led to the visible change. Habits work the same way. Early progress is often invisible. You go to the gym for a week and see no change in your body. You eat healthy for a few days, and the scale doesn't budge. This discourages people. They think their effort is wasted. But what they don't realize is that success is delayed. It doesn't appear until much later, just like the melting point of the ice. This is why Clear says, all big things come from small beginnings. The seed of every habit is a single, tiny decision. Another crucial idea introduced in this chapter is the difference between goals and systems. Clear argues that goals are good for setting direction, but systems are what lead to results. Here's how he breaks it down. If you're a coach, your goal is to win a championship. Your system is how your team practices, recruits, and trains. If you're a writer, your goal is to write a book. Your system is your writing schedule and how you edit. If you're trying to get in shape, your goal is to lose weight. Your system is how you eat, exercise, and sleep daily. The problem with goals is that they are temporary. Once you achieve them, the motivation often disappears. Systems, however, are built for consistency and sustainability. He also explains that winners and losers often have the same goals. So the goal itself cannot be what differentiates them. What matters is the system they follow every day. So, what should you focus on? Systems over outcomes, progress over perfection, repetition over intensity. A quote that summarizes this beautifully is, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Even when you don't see immediate results, each small step builds the foundation for long-term change. To close this chapter, remember this. Tiny habits matter. Small improvements stack up. Progress is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. Don't focus on outcomes. Focus on building the right process. The power of atomic habits is in their ability to compound. Just like money earning interest, habits grow stronger the more you repeat them. Chapter 2. Identity-based habits. If there's one lesson from Atomic Habits that can radically shift how you think about change, it's this. True behavior change is identity change. Most people try to change their habits by focusing on what they want to achieve, their goals. Some go a step further and focus on the process, what actions they should take. But very few people look at the deepest level, their identity, who they believe they are. Let's break it down with a simple model James Clear gives us. 1. Outcomes, what you get. 2. Processes, what you do. 3. Identity, what you believe. Most people start with outcomes. I want to lose 10 kilograms. I want to read more. I want to get rich. Then they build processes, diets, exercise plans, reading routines, budgeting. But here's the problem. If your identity doesn't change, your habits won't stick. Imagine someone trying to quit smoking. One person says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." The other says, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker." The first person still sees themselves as a smoker who's fighting against temptation. The second person has already become a non-smoker. This subtle shift, from trying to change to being someone new, is the foundation of lasting change. Clear explains, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Want to become fit? Don't just go to the gym. Be someone who never misses workouts. Want to be a writer? Write one paragraph. Not to finish a book, but to cast a vote for being a writer. Change doesn't happen all at once. It happens in layers through repetition, decision after decision, day after day. But here's the trap. Identity works both ways. If you constantly say, "I'm terrible with money. I'm just not consistent. I always procrastinate," you're reinforcing an identity that limits your potential. Eventually, you behave in ways that prove those beliefs right. So instead of saying, "I can't stick to anything," say, "I'm learning to be more disciplined, one habit at a time." How to change your identity with habits. Clear gives us a two-step process. 1. Decide who you want to be. Be specific. Not "I want to be successful," but "I want to be the type of person who never misses a deadline," or who works out 5 days a week. 2. Prove it to yourself with small wins. Want to be a reader? Read one page. Want to be organized? Clean one drawer. Want to be a great parent? Spend 5 minutes playing with your child with full attention. The identity will follow your actions. Here's the truth. You don't need to believe in the new identity 100% at the start. You only need to act like it. Today, then tomorrow, then again. Over time, your brain starts to say, "I keep doing this. Maybe I'm that kind of person." Let's go deeper. Most people say, "Once I achieve my goal, then I'll believe I'm successful." But James Clear flips that. Once you believe you're successful, then you'll act in ways that make it true. You don't need permission to become someone new. You only need to start living it now, one habit at a time. This is why identity is so powerful, because it becomes your internal compass. It guides your behavior naturally. Think about it. You don't have to convince yourself to brush your teeth. It's part of who you are. A vegetarian doesn't struggle to avoid meat. It's not even an option. When a habit becomes part of your identity, it becomes effortless. 3 takeaways from this chapter. 1. Behavior that reflects your identity is easier to maintain. If you believe, I'm a healthy person, eating well becomes your default. 2. Identity is shaped by repetition. You don't need massive change, just small, consistent actions that align with your ideal self. 3. Be intentional about the story you tell yourself. Don't reinforce limiting beliefs. Choose to believe in your potential and prove it through action. Ask yourself today, who do I want to become? What's one small action I can take today to prove it? Because real change isn't about results. It's about becoming someone you're proud of, one small habit at a time. Chapter 3, The 4 Laws of Behavior Change. If you want to build better habits and break the bad ones, you need a reliable system. In this chapter, James Clear introduces a simple yet powerful framework, the 4 Laws of Behavior Change. These 4 steps form a cycle. They're the foundation of every habit you build. Here's the cycle. 1. Cue, the trigger that starts the habit. 2. Craving, the desire or motivation. 3. Response, the actual habit or action. 4. Reward, the benefit you get that reinforces it. Every habit, good or bad, follows this pattern. To make a good habit, you apply the following. 1. Make it obvious. 2. Make it attractive. 3. Make it easy. 4. Make it satisfying. To break a bad habit, you do the opposite. 1. Make it invisible. 2. Make it unattractive. 3. Make it difficult. 4. Make it unsatisfying. Let's go deeper into each law and learn how to use it in real life. 1. Make it obvious. The power of cues. Habits don't just happen, they're triggered. Your brain is constantly scanning for cues, a time of day, a place, a feeling, or even another person. For example, waking up, cue, brushing your teeth. Feeling stressed, cue, reaching for snacks. Phone buzzes, cue, check social media. Clear suggests using habit stacking to build new habits. It works like this. After current habit, I will new habit. Example, after I pour my morning coffee, I will journal for 1 minute. After I take off my shoes at home, I will do 10 squats. This leverages existing habits as triggers for new ones. Another tip, change your environment. Want to eat healthier? Put fruit on the counter and hide the junk food. You don't need more willpower. You need better cues. 2. Make it attractive. Why we do what we do. We repeat habits not because they're logical, but because they're appealing. Clear says, the more attractive an opportunity is, the more likely it is to become habit-forming. How do you make habits more attractive? Use a strategy called temptation bundling. After habit I need, I will do habit I want. Example, after I finish 10 minutes of reading, I can check Instagram. After I go for a run, I'll watch my favorite show. This helps your brain associate a positive feeling with the new habit. Also, surround yourself with people who already have the habits you want. We imitate those around us. So hang out with readers if you want to read more, or fit people if you want to be healthy. 3. Make it easy. Remove friction. Clear's golden rule here is don't aim to be perfect. Aim to be consistent. Most people try to build big habits right away. Going to the gym for an hour, writing 1,000 words a day. But real change comes from making it so easy you can't say no. Start small. 1 push-up. 1 paragraph. 1 minute of meditation. It sounds silly, but it builds momentum, and momentum beats motivation every time. Also, reduce friction. If you want to practice guitar, keep it out of the case. If you want to read at night, leave the book on your pillow. If you want to stop scrolling, delete the app from your home screen. Make the good habits easy to start, and the bad ones harder to reach. 4. Make it satisfying. Reward yourself. Why do habits stick? Because they feel good. Our brains are wired to repeat things that are rewarding. If there's no satisfaction, your brain won't want to do it again. That's why it's important to feel successful, even if the win is small. Try using a habit tracker. Mark an X on the calendar every day you do your habit. It gives you visual proof and creates a streak you won't want to break. Also, celebrate your progress. Smile, say, I did it, or give yourself a small treat, whatever makes you feel good. Just make sure the reward doesn't sabotage the habit. Example, don't reward a workout with junk food. And if you're breaking a bad habit, make it immediately painful or unsatisfying. Tell a friend. Set up a consequence. Use accountability. Director. Summary: the 4 laws at a glance. If you want to build a good habit, 1. Make it obvious. 2. Make it attractive. 3. Make it easy. 4. Make it satisfying if you want to break a bad habit. 1. Make it invisible. 2. Make it unattractive. 3. Make it difficult. 4. Make it unsatisfying. This is the framework, but to make it work, you have to apply it to your own life. Ask yourself, what cues are triggering my habits? Can I make good habits easier to start? Am I making progress feel rewarding? Because building habits isn't about willpower, it's about creating a system that makes success inevitable. Chapter 4. Make it obvious. The first law of behavior change. Cue, make it obvious. Every habit begins with a cue, a trigger that tells your brain it's time to act. If you're not aware of these cues, you'll keep repeating habits on autopilot, both good and bad. James Clear puts it simply, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Let's change that. Step 1. Awareness, the habits scorecard. Before you can change your habits, you have to see them clearly. Clear suggests doing a habit scorecard. This is a list of your daily habits, from the moment you wake up to when you sleep. Example, wake up, check phone, scroll social media, brush teeth, drink coffee, watch YouTube, commute. Work now, next to each habit, label it. Good habit, bad habit, neutral. This simple exercise creates awareness. You can't fix what you're blind to. Most people think they lack willpower, but often what they really lack is clarity. Step 2, use implementation intentions. Now that you know your habits, let's create new ones, on purpose. One of the most powerful strategies is the implementation intention. Instead of saying, I'll start exercising, say, I will behavior at time and location. Example, I will do 15 minutes of yoga at 7 a.m. in the living room. I will write 100 words at 9 p.m. at my desk. Why does this work? Because vague goals lead to vague results, but clear plans make the habit obvious and easy to follow. Step 3, habit stacking. We introduced this earlier. Now let's go deeper. Habit stacking means linking a new habit to something you already do. The formula, after I current habit, I will new habit. Example, after I brush my teeth, I will floss 1 tooth. After I pour my coffee, I will write down 3 things I'm grateful for. After I finish lunch, I'll walk for 10 minutes. Why is this effective? Because it anchors your new habit to an existing routine. It becomes part of your flow, not something you have to force. Over time, your brain connects the two automatically. Step 4, design your environment. This might be the most underrated secret in habit formation. Environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. Here's the truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems, and your system lives in your environment. Want to eat healthier? Keep fruit in plain sight? Hide junk food or don't buy it? Want to practice guitar more? Put it next to your couch. Don't leave it in the closet. Want to drink more water? Place a full bottle on your desk. Don't rely on memory. Your environment should cue your good habits and hide your bad ones. Design beats discipline. The power of context. Habits are often context dependent. They form based on where and when you do something. For example, you may always snack in front of the TV or check your phone the moment you sit on the couch. If you always read in bed, your brain starts to associate bed with reading. If you always scroll TikTok in bed, your brain associates bed with distractions. So if you want better habits, control your context. Use different spaces for different behaviors. Work at a desk. Relax on the couch. Sleep in bed only. Meditate in a calm corner. Even in a small home, you can create mental zones. Recap. Make it obvious. Here's how to use the first law effectively. Use a habit scorecard to become aware, set implementation intentions. I will do habit at time, in place. Use habit stacking to connect new habits to existing ones. Design your environment so good habits are visible and easy. Control your context. Let your space support your identity. Remember, you don't need more motivation. You need a better environment. Ask yourself, what invisible cues are shaping my day? Can I make my good habits easier to see? What is one small change I can make in my space today? Because clarity creates confidence. When habits are obvious, they become automatic, and automatic habits lead to massive results. Chapter 5, Make it attractive. The second law of behavior. Change craving, make it attractive. Why do some habits feel effortless, while others feel like a constant struggle? It comes down to craving, the emotional force behind every habit. We don't crave the habit itself. We crave the feeling it gives us. We don't crave brushing our teeth. We crave a fresh, clean mouth. We don't crave going to the gym. We crave the feeling of confidence and energy. We don't crave saving money. We crave the freedom and peace of mind. The role of dopamine. Here's what's happening in your brain. Every time you anticipate a reward, your brain releases dopamine, the feel-good chemical. And the surprising part? Dopamine spikes not when you get the reward, but when you anticipate it. That's what creates the craving. That's what makes a habit attractive. If you want to make a habit stick, you have to make it something your brain looks forward to, something it finds emotionally appealing. Strategy 1. Temptation bundling. James Clear introduces a genius technique called temptation bundling. It combines something you want to do with something you need to do. Here's the formula. After I habit I need, I will habit I want. Examples. After I finish 20 minutes of exercise, I will watch my favorite Netflix show. After I clean the house, I'll listen to my favorite podcast. After I complete a task at work, I'll grab a coffee from my favorite place. This works because it connects a habit you want to build with immediate satisfaction. It makes the new habit more attractive by attaching it to an existing reward. Strategy 2. Join a culture where your desired behavior is normal. Humans are deeply influenced by social norms. We imitate the habits of 1. The close, friends and family. 2. The many, the crowd. 3. The powerful, those we admire or respect. One of the deepest human desires is to belong. If you want to develop a habit, join a group where that habit is the norm. Examples. Want to get fit? Join a fitness class or running group. Want to read more? Join a book club. Want to be more productive? Surround yourself with focused people. Your environment includes the people around you, and behavior is contagious. So ask yourself, who do I spend time with? Are their habits lifting me up or pulling me down? Because we tend to become like the people we spend the most time with. Strategy 3. Reframe your habits to be more attractive. Sometimes the difference between failure and success is how you look at a habit. Instead of saying, I have to wake up early, say, I get to start my day with peace and clarity. Instead of, I have to cook at home, say, I get to nourish my body with healthy food. Your brain listens to your words, and when you change your language, you change your mindset. Every behavior has a surface-level craving and a deeper underlying motive. It's not about doing the habit. It's about becoming the kind of person who loves the feeling that habit gives you. Recap. Make it attractive. To build better habits, you need to make them emotionally appealing. Use temptation bundling to pair habits with instant rewards. Surround yourself with people who live the habits you want. Reframe your habits to highlight the benefits and identity behind them. Because when your brain finds a habit attractive, it no longer feels like work. It becomes a desire. Ask yourself, can I attach a reward to this habit I'm building? Can I join a community that normalizes this behavior? How can I reframe this habit to feel like a privilege, not a punishment? Because the more attractive a habit is, the more likely it is to become automatic. Chapter 6, Make it easy. The third law of behavior change. Response. Make it easy by now. We've learned. Cue. Make it obvious. Craving. Make it attractive. Now comes the third step in the habit loop. Response. And the secret here is simple. Don't try to be perfect, just try to be consistent. We don't rise to the level of motivation. We fall to the level of ease. The easier a habit is, the more likely you are to do it. Repetition greater than perfection. Let's start by busting a myth. You don't need more willpower, you need less resistance. Think of habit building like learning a language or playing an instrument. It's not about doing it perfectly the first time. It's about doing it often. You don't need to be great to start, but you do need to start to be great. Research shows it's not the amount of time you practice that matters. It's the number of times you repeat the behavior. That's how the brain wires habits. Repetition is the code. So instead of aiming for high performance, focus on building high frequency. Strategy 1. The 2-minute rule. Big goals often lead to big procrastination. Why? Because they feel overwhelming. James Clear introduces the game-changing 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Examples. Want to read more? Start with opening the book. Want to run every day? Start by putting on your shoes. Want to meditate? Start by sitting on your cushion for 2 minutes. This may sound silly, but it's powerful because it gets you in motion. It builds momentum. It removes the friction. A habit must be established before it can be improved. Once it becomes automatic, you can scale it. But first, make it easy to start. Strategy 2. Reduce friction. Let's look at friction. The little obstacles that stop us from acting. Want to go to the gym, but your gear is buried in a drawer. Want to eat healthy, but your fridge is full of junk. Want to write daily, but your laptop is dead and across the room. These seem like small things, but they matter. Every point of friction adds resistance, and resistance kills habits. Instead, you can design for ease. Examples. Lay out your clothes the night before. Keep healthy snacks visible and junk food hidden. Keep your guitar on a stand in your living room. Create a one-click desktop shortcut for your writing app. Remove any extra step that makes a habit harder to do. Strategy 3. Automate your habits. The best habits are the ones you don't even think about. That's why automation is so powerful. Examples. Automatically transfer a portion of your income to savings. Use a smart timer to turn off screens after 10 p.m. Set your coffee maker to brew at 6 a.m. Use apps to schedule workouts, reminders, or bills. The more you can automate, the less you rely on willpower. Good habits should feel effortless, not like a chore. Strategy 4. Standardize before you optimize. So many people get stuck in research, planning, and overthinking. They want the perfect routine, the ideal setup, or the right app before starting. But habits don't need to be perfect. They need to be present. Stop waiting for motivation or the perfect time. Just start and improve as you go. Start small, stay consistent, then build momentum. Example, don't try to design a full workout program. Just do 5 push-ups every morning. Don't try to create a full content calendar. Just post 1 video this week. Don't try to eat clean all day. Just start by eating 1 healthy meal. Standardize before you optimize. Recap, make it easy. The more effortless a habit is, the more likely it sticks. Focus on repetition over perfection. Use the 2-minute rule to make habits tiny and doable. Reduce friction. Make good habits convenient. Automate routines when possible. Start messy. Standardize before you optimize. Because consistency beats intensity. Action beats overthinking. And habits that are easy to do become hard to break. Ask yourself, what habit can I shrink down to just 2 minutes? What's one small friction I can remove today? Can I automate a routine that drains my willpower? Remember, success isn't about doing big things once. It's about doing small things consistently. Chapter 7, Make it satisfying. The 4th law of behavior change, reward, make it satisfying. So far, we've covered cue, make it obvious, craving, make it attractive, response, make it easy. Now comes the reward, the final step in the habit loop. And the law is simple. To make a habit stick, you must make it satisfying. Why satisfaction matters. Humans are wired for immediate gratification. From an evolutionary perspective, our ancestors made decisions based on what would benefit them now. Food, safety, reproduction, not long-term plans. That's why junk food is tempting. Scrolling on your phone feels good. Skipping a workout feels like a relief because they give instant rewards. The problem is, most good habits are rewarding only in the long term, and most bad habits are rewarding immediately. The cost of your good habits is in the present. The cost of your bad habits is in the future. So to build good habits, we need to bring future rewards into the present. Strategy 1. Use immediate rewards. You need to feel successful immediately after doing the habit. That way your brain says, yes, let's do this again. How? Track your progress. Use a habit tracker or checklist. Visual cues. Cross off days on a calendar. Verbal rewards. Say I'm proud of you to yourself. Treat yourself. Small rewards after consistency, e.g., a nice coffee, 15 minutes of fun time. The point is to celebrate the behavior, not wait months to feel good about it. Strategy 2. Use a habit tracker. James Clear highly recommends habit tracking as a way to make habits more satisfying. Don't break the chain. Every time you perform a habit, mark it on a calendar, journal, or app. Seeing a streak grow day by day is visually satisfying. It creates a sense of pride, momentum, and accountability. But what if you miss a day? Never miss twice. One miss is an accident. Two misses become the start of a new, bad habit. Don't be perfect. Be consistent. Strategy 3. Make bad habits unsatisfying. Just as we make good habits satisfying, we must make bad habits unsatisfying. How? Add accountability. Tell someone your goals. Use public commitment. Announce your habit online or to friends. Add consequences. Set up a penalty if you fail, e.g., donate to a cause you hate. When you make a bad habit feel painful or embarrassing, your brain avoids repeating it. Identity reinforcement. The most satisfying reward isn't money, treats, or praise. It's seeing yourself become the kind of person you want to be. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Each workout is a vote for being a fit person. Each act of kindness is a vote for being a loving person. Each time you show up, you reinforce your identity. When your habits align with your identity, they become deeply satisfying. They feel right. And when you feel good about your progress, you stay on track. Recap. Make it satisfying. To make a habit stick, your brain needs to enjoy it. Use immediate rewards to reinforce behavior. Track your habits, don't break the chain. Make bad habits unsatisfying with consequences or accountability. Reinforce your identity through action. Because the best habits aren't forced, they feel rewarding, emotionally and mentally. Ask yourself, how can I feel good immediately after doing this habit? What reward will I give myself for consistency? How can I track my success and avoid breaking the chain? Who can help hold me accountable if I slip? Remember, you repeat what feels good, so if it's satisfying, it becomes automatic. Chapter 8. Advanced Tactics. How to go from being merely good to being truly great. In the previous chapters, we've built a strong foundation for habit formation. We've tackled how to make habits obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. But what if you want to go from good to great? What if you want to optimize your habits for maximum growth? This chapter will show you how to apply advanced tactics to your habit-building journey. Strategy 1. Focus on systems, not goals. Most people are goal-oriented. They set big goals like lose 20 pounds or run a marathon. But here's the problem. Goals are the destination. Systems are the process that gets you there. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Goals are good for setting direction, but systems are the daily habits that lead to success. Example, if your goal is to lose weight, the system is exercising daily, eating healthy, and getting enough sleep. If your goal is to become a better writer, the system is writing daily, reading often, and setting time aside to learn. Focusing on the system, the process, will get you to your goals faster and more sustainably. Strategy 2. Environment design. Your environment shapes your behavior more than you might realize. You don't rise to the level of your intentions. You fall to the level of your environment. Want to eat healthier? Keep junk food out of sight? Want to work out more? Put your gym clothes where you'll see them. Want to read more? Put a book by your bedside table. The key to habit building is to design your environment to make good habits easier and bad habits harder. Strategy 3. Make small changes for big results. The aggregation of marginal gains means that small, consistent improvements compound into big changes over time. For example, if you improve just 1% every day, you're 37 times better by the end of the year. That's the power of small habits. Don't worry about making dramatic changes. Focus on tiny adjustments that, over time, will make a huge impact. Example, instead of trying to overhaul your entire lifestyle, improve one small thing. Replace soda with water. Add 5 minutes of exercise to your day. Write 100 words per day. These small changes add up, and in a year, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. Strategy 4. The plateau of latent potential. This is the toughest part of habit building, the plateau. It's that frustrating phase when you're not seeing immediate results, even though you're working hard. James Clear refers to this as the plateau of latent potential. You don't see immediate progress, but your efforts are compounding behind the scenes. Think about ice melting. At 26 degrees Fahrenheit, nothing happens. At 27 degrees Fahrenheit, still nothing. At 32 degrees Fahrenheit, it starts to melt. Your efforts are like this. The results aren't always visible in the short term, but keep going, and eventually you'll break through the plateau. Strategy 5. Habit reflection and adjustment. Successful habit change requires reflection. As you work on your habits, periodically ask yourself, what's working? What isn't? Don't be afraid to adjust your habits based on your reflection. For example, if your workout plan isn't sustainable, adjust it to something you can maintain. If you're not reading as much as you'd like, adjust your reading goals to make them easier to achieve. Flexibility and adaptability are key to long-term success. Strategy 6. Identity-based habits. We touched on this earlier in the book, but it's worth repeating. The most powerful habits are the ones that reinforce your identity. When your habit is tied to your identity, it becomes automatic. Example, instead of saying, I want to run every day, say I am a runner. Instead of I want to be healthy, say I am a healthy person. Your identity drives your habits. And when your habits are aligned with your identity, they become easier to maintain. Recap. Advanced tactics. To truly master habit formation and go from good to great, focus on building systems rather than just goals. Design your environment to make good habits easy and bad habits hard. Make small incremental improvements every day. Push through the plateau of latent potential and trust the compounding effect. Regularly reflect and adjust your habits. Tie your habits to your identity to make them automatic. Ask yourself, how can I focus on improving my systems, not just my goals? What small, consistent change can I make today? How can I design my environment to make good habits easier? How can I reinforce my identity through my actions? Remember, habits are not about perfection. They're about progress, consistency, and aligning them with the person you want to become. Now that you have the tools and strategies from Atomic Habits, it's time to apply them. The journey won't always be easy, but remember that every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. Stay patient, stay consistent, and most importantly, stay focused on who you want to become. Your habits are your path to success. Your future self will thank you for taking this step today. Start now. You've got this.